They said he cleaned the crime scene before the crime. Not after. Before. Ethan Cole. 38. Crime scene cleaner for hire. This morning, he's not in gloves and coveralls. He's in a wrinkled suit, wrists cuffed, surrounded by deputies. The cameras flash. The reporters shout his name. Mr. Cole. Why'd you do it? He doesn't look up. The prosecutor calls it the most premeditated act in state history. The judge calls it unlike anything this court has seen. And the jury? They haven't even heard the details yet, but already their eyes are fixed on him like he's a predator. 3 weeks ago, police found Rachel Myers dead in her apartment. No fingerprints. No DNA. No blood spatter. The room smelled faintly of bleach. It was as if someone had scrubbed it top to bottom, before killing her. Rachel wasn't just anyone. She was an investigative journalist. Her latest story? A corruption probe into a powerful developer named Victor Harrow. Someone with money, connections, and enemies. The prosecution says Ethan went into Rachel's apartment 3 days before she died, cleaning it so thoroughly that when he returned to kill her, there would be nothing to trace. They have security footage, grainy but clear enough, showing him walking into her building with cleaning supplies. They have a payment receipt, triple his usual fee, from an unnamed client. And they have motive, they claim, tied to Rachel's dangerous reporting. But here's the thing. Ethan swears he never met Rachel. Never spoke to her. Never set foot in her apartment. In court, the first witness takes the stand, a building manager who swears Ethan was there that Tuesday afternoon. Ethan's attorney leans forward, ready to strike. But the judge calls a recess. Outside, the news trucks wait. And inside, Ethan sits in the holding room, staring at the table, lips moving silently. Counting, maybe. Praying, maybe. The thing about this case? It's just getting started. The jury gasps before the first photo even hits the projector. Rachel Myers is slumped against her living room wall. Eyes open. Hands limp at her sides. There's no blood. Not a drop. Detectives say it's almost impossible, blunt force trauma usually leaves something. But the wall is spotless. The floor gleams. Even the air vents look freshly dusted. The coroner testifies, cause of death was asphyxiation. No defensive wounds. No forced entry. Whoever did this, she probably knew them. Then comes the smell. Every officer who entered noted it, faint bleach and industrial cleaner. Except, here's the twist. Rachel's neighbors swear no cleaning crew entered her apartment after her death. The prosecutor plays the CCTV footage. Tuesday, 4:17 p.m. Ethan walks in. Dark jacket. Gloves in his pocket. A duffel bag heavy with spray bottles and cloths. He leaves an hour later. 3 days later, Rachel is dead. The defense argues the video is blurry, the man could be anyone. But the prosecution has the payment records, $900, cash deposit, from an account traced to a shell company. When detectives tried to follow that lead, the account was already closed. The paper trail, gone. Then a detective takes the stand and says something that freezes the courtroom. Rachel's laptop was found wiped clean. Her phone, reset to factory settings. All her notes on the corruption case, vanished. The prosecution calls it part of Ethan's pre-cleaning job. The defense calls it someone else covering their tracks. But the jury? They're looking at Ethan like he's the devil who vacuumed the crime scene before striking. Just as the day ends, a new piece of evidence surfaces, a receipt for a second cleaning job in another apartment, dated the same week as Rachel's death. The second apartment is across town. Different neighborhood. Different victim. Except, there's no victim. At least, not yet. Detectives arrive at the address on the receipt. The place is empty. Completely empty. No furniture. No trash. Not even dust. And in the middle of the living room? A single strip of yellow cleaning cloth, folded neatly. Forensics finds trace amounts of the same industrial agent used in Rachel's apartment. The receipt for this job? Same shell company. Same week. Same cleaner's signature, Ethan Cole. When asked about it in court, Ethan's voice cracks. "I've never been there in my life." The prosecutor leans in. "So you've never cleaned a scene before a crime?" "I clean after. That's my job." "Not this time." Outside the courthouse, whispers spread. If this was the second pre-clean, was someone planning another killing? Or was this all part of framing Ethan? Meanwhile, reporters dig into Victor Harrow, the developer Rachel was investigating. Turns out, Harrow has a history of troubles quietly disappearing. And one of his companies? Linked to the shell account that paid Ethan. The defense demands access to Harrow's records. The judge hesitates. Then, without warning, court is adjourned for the day. That night, someone throws a rock through Ethan's sister's window. Attached is a note, "Stop digging." The next morning, the prosecutor announces a surprise witness, someone who claims to have seen Ethan in Rachel's apartment the night she died. If this case kept you watching till the now, there's more where it came from. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and share it. Because here on Criminally Untold, the next story might be darker than this one. Court is full. No empty seats. Everyone wants the shock. The prosecutor calls a surprise witness. Name withheld on the docket. Face tight. Eyes red. He says he lives across from Rachel's building. Says he was awake the night she died. Says he saw Ethan Cole. He points at Ethan. No hesitation. That man. In a dark jacket. He went in at 1:42 a.m. Silence. You can feel the jury lean forward. The judge nods for details. The witness talks about rain on the windows. A flicker in the hallway lights. A shadow moving up the stairs. He says he watched the door. He says he saw Ethan come out at 2:09. He says Ethan carried nothing on the way out. The prosecutor smiles. Nothing to carry if he already cleaned it. A few jurors glance at Ethan. The story fits the theory too well. The defense rises. Cross-examination. Simple questions first. How far is your window from the entry? Across the street. How much rain that night? Heavy. Any lights out on the block? Yes. Rolling outage for 10 minutes. So you saw a face. Through rain. Across a street. During a blackout. At 2 in the morning. The witness stiffens. Says the emergency lights were on. Says the face was clear. Says he is certain. The defense changes angle. Where do you work? Facilities. For whom? Independent contractor. A pause. Then the file appears. The defense shows a badge. The witness once worked night security for a Harrow subsidiary. Murmurs everywhere. The prosecutor objects. Sustained. The jury still heard it. The defense drops a new spark. Parking records. A municipal ticket. 1:58 a.m. Ethan's van. 5 miles away. Parked in a loading zone during the same window. The prosecutor attacks the timestamp. Says tickets can be back-entered. Says clerks make mistakes. Says GPS logs beat paper. The defense produces dashcam footage from a patrol car. Rain on the lens. A clear shot of Ethan's van. 2:01 a.m. Officers discussing the plate. No Ethan in the front seat. No movement. So Ethan's van is not at Rachel's. But a witness swears Ethan is. The jury looks confused. Confusion helps the state. It also helps the doubt. Then a deputy enters the courtroom with a sealed envelope. Hands it to the clerk. The clerk whispers to the judge. The judge frowns. The envelope went to the precinct first. No return address. Inside was a flash drive. Label reads, RM_notes. Rachel Myers. Notes. The prosecutor asks to impound. The defense asks to mirror. The judge orders a forensic copy. Hearing resumes tomorrow. The hallway explodes with cameras. The witness slips away. Ethan stares at the table. His lips move again. Counting. Or praying. That night, a storm chews the city. Power surges. Street cameras glitch. Someone likes storms. At 3:12 a.m., a man in a hood pulls a rolling cart into a basement garage. On the cart sits a caddy of cleaning agents. He passes a camera. The hood hides his face. But not the cloth on top. A neat strip of yellow. Folded once. Folded again. The same calling card. In the morning, the flash drive plays. Rachel's voice speaks. She names a code word. She says one phrase that changes the entire case. The drive loads. The room breathes shallow. A waveform shivers on the screen. Then Rachel's voice. Strong. Calm. Tired. If this file opens, I did not press play. A beat. Project Blue Meadow. That is what they call it. The prosecutor objects on foundation. Overruled. Preliminary review only. Rachel keeps talking. Names scrubbed. Dates intact. She describes a pattern. Developers buy a block. Tenants fight. Activists publish. Then pressure appears. Papers vanish. Phones wipe. Someone removes the mess before mess happens. She calls it pre-clean. She says there is a private biohazard contractor in the middle. Not Ethan's shop. Another outfit with deeper pockets. Sterilite Solutions. A Harrow partner on government contracts. Access anywhere. No questions asked. She mentions a man called Vale. Operations. Logistics. People call him the preparer. The courtroom shifts in their seats. The prosecutor tries to box the story as rumor. The judge allows context. Detectives take the stand in a closed sidebar. When it reopens, the defense drops the map. City GPS pings. A Sterilite truck parked 2 blocks from Rachel's building. Tuesday. Same hour Ethan allegedly walked in with supplies. The prosecution notes the truck never entered the garage. The defense notes the truck did not need to. The preparer could load a caddy and walk. Forensics follows. Trace compounds on Rachel's vent grate match a Sterilite grade oxidizer. Not off-the-shelf bleach. A proprietary mix. Objection on chain of custody. Overruled. The testimony stands for now. The prosecutor pivots back to motive. Why would Sterilite risk this? Why would Harrow? Why would Ethan be in the video at all? The defense answers with money. A shell payment. $900. A test booking using Ethan's name and signature profile. The signature looks right. The driver's license scan looks right. The phone number is off by 1 digit. Whoever booked Ethan wanted him tied to the scene. They used a perfect copy of his intake template. The template was not public. Only a vendor would have it. Or a client who hired him before. Harrow's company hired Ethan 2 years ago after a warehouse accident. That file would have his template. The judge stares at the ceiling. This is the swamp where trials drown. He rules the jury can hear it. For now. 2 more things happen. They happen fast. First, an analyst decrypts a fragment on the flash drive. It is a clipped, whispered note from Rachel. "If I go quiet, check the empty apartment on Lennox. The one that smells too clean." They staged a dry run. Second, a patrol responds to a call about chemical odor at a storage unit across town. Inside, there are bins of microfiber cloths. Every cloth is cut to the same dimension. Every stack is banded and labeled by date. On top of the nearest bin sits a folded yellow strip. The same fold. The same ritual. Detectives lift a partial print off a plastic lid. It is not Ethan's. It is not in the state system. The prosecutor demands time to evaluate. The judge pauses the trial for 48 hours. During the recess, someone uploads a video to a small anonymous channel. 2 minutes. Grainy hallway. A figure in a hood pulls a rolling cart out of an elevator. The caption says, "Lennox Dry Run. Watch the vents." The figure wipes the lens before the camera dies. With a yellow cloth. Folded twice. That night, while Ethan sleeps in county, a motion sensor pings at the Lennox address. Officers arrive to find the apartment open. It smells like a hospital corridor. And something else. Someone just left. The Lennox door swings on tired hinges. No footprints. No dust. No fingerprints on the knob. It is cold inside. Vents hum. Windows cracked 1 inch to vent fumes. There is a plan here. You can feel it in the angles. Nothing is random. On the kitchen counter sits a bound stack of checklist forms. Not Ethan's. Sterilite header. Boxes for tasks with times. Vent scrub. Drain flush. Doorknob wipe. Device wipe. Trip the breaker. Reset. A schedule grid lists 3 addresses. Rachel's is first. Lennox is second. A third address is highlighted in red. Tonight. 9 p.m. The address is 3 miles from the courthouse. Top floor. Corporate lease. Vacant this month. Detectives split units. One goes to the third address. One stays to pull prints. One calls the judge in a panic about new evidence. Ethan is brought to court in chains. He lowers his head. He has not slept. The prosecutor starts to reframe. Says copies can be planted. Says enemies can fabricate. Says Ethan still fits the video. Then the doors open at the back. A detective steps in with a sealed bag. Inside is a phone with a cracked screen. It was found taped under the Lennox sink. The phone boots. A hidden album opens. It contains only one video. 31 seconds. Rachel's living room. A man in a hood wipes a camera with a yellow cloth. He looks straight into the lens. You cannot see his face. But you can see his hands. A missing finger on the right hand. Ring finger gone. The courtroom freezes. Ethan holds up his hands. All fingers intact. The judge orders the jury out. He asks the state if any Sterilite employee is missing a finger. The state refuses to answer on an ongoing inquiry. An aide runs in from the third address. Breathing hard. He says the place is open. He says it is clean. He says a live camera was running from a closet router until 10 minutes ago. Another detective radios from a side stairwell. He chased a hooded figure down 2 flights. The figure slipped through the loading bay. Left a cart behind. On the cart sits a tidy caddy. Bottles. Gloves. A folded yellow cloth on top. They print the cart handle. There it is again. The partial with the missing ring finger. It hits a private database this time. A workplace injury claim. Former Sterilite operations manager. Jonas Vale. The preparer has a name. He also has a habit. He folds his cloth the same way every time. He cannot stop. The prosecutor tries to halt the bleeding. Says Vale could be working with Ethan. Says conspiracy is worse than murder. The defense asks one question. How did Ethan clean an apartment before a crime while sitting in a holding cell tonight? The judge orders the state to disclose Sterilite records in camera. Harrow's lawyers move to quash. They fail. The judge signs the order. Inside the records are job sheets. Dates. Grids. Authorization codes. One code unlocks the Shell account that paid for Ethan's fake booking. The billing contact on that account is a lawyer in Harrow's tower. The same lawyer who argued for suppression this morning. The courtroom starts to tilt. You can feel it. The case that was neat is now smoke. Then the power flickers. A short blackout. Security lights blink to life. A hush smothers the room. When the lights return, a bailiff stares at the center aisle. There is a janitor cart sitting there. No one saw it rolled in. On top, a folded yellow cloth. The exact same fold. A note is taped under the cloth. 4 words. We clean before truth. Officers swarm. The cart is empty of prints. Everything wiped. Across town, a 4th location pings on a silent alarm. Another pre-cleaned room. Another ritual. Ethan is still in cuffs, inside the courthouse, under a dozen cameras. So the network is bigger. Smarter. Faster. The judge clears the courtroom. Under the bench glow, he whispers for federal help. The preparer already moved to the next address. Ethan looks up for the first time. His lips stop moving. He is not counting. He is not praying. He is listening. Sirens start to braid the streets. The city holds its breath. The camera pans to the maintenance corridor behind the courtroom. A door eases shut. A gloved hand rests on the frame. Missing ring finger. The hand drops. Footsteps fade. The yellow cloth waits on the cart like a signature you cannot ignore. Want to see how this ends when the feds step in and the preparer goes on the run? Hit subscribe to Criminally Untold and turn on notifications and drop comment. New drops, real fast. Real dark. You will not want to miss the final pursuit and the reveal of who ordered the cleanups.